Archangel Michael declares, a divine alarm has been sounded for you tonight. The gates of heaven are open, but only those who watch until the end will receive their portion. My beloved child, something beyond human understanding has been released tonight. Heaven has not just whispered, it has roared. Archangel Michael himself stands at the threshold of eternity, sounding a divine alarm that shakes both realms. You were not meant to scroll past this message. You were summoned to it. The night may look ordinary, but in the invisible realm, the sound of the trumpet echoes through creation. Michael's voice, fierce and radiant, has pierced through the silence of heaven, declaring, "Awaken, for the time of divine visitation is here." His sword of light is drawn, his eyes burn like the sun, and the message he brings is not for the careless. It is for those whose spirits have longed for something more. Heaven is not waiting for the perfect, it is calling the willing. You see, when Michael sounds an alarm, it means something sacred is shifting, something that cannot wait for tomorrow. The gates of heaven are open tonight, not symbolically, but literally in the spirit. And only those who are awake, alert, and listening will receive what has been poured out. Do you feel it? That stirring deep inside your chest right now is not coincidence. It is your spirit recognizing the sound of eternity. It is your soul remembering the call it once heard before you were even born, the call to stand, to believe, and to awaken. There's a reason the message came to you tonight. Because somewhere, your name was spoken in the heavenly assembly. Michael has drawn his sword, not for war on earth, but to cut open the veil between you and what God has prepared. The light that streams through that opening is not ordinary. It carries answers, healing, and divine revelation meant only for those who watch until the end. Heaven's timing is precise. Archangel Michael does not speak randomly. When he moves, the earth trembles and destinies shift. There's a heavenly alignment taking place right now. Some have been asleep for too long, trapped in doubt, fear, and endless waiting. But the alarm Michael sounds tonight is not to frighten you. It's to awaken you. It's the same sound the shepherds heard on that holy night when angels filled the sky. It's the same vibration that rolled the stone away from the tomb. It's the same divine frequency that spoke the universe into being, and now it's vibrating in your atmosphere. Listen closely. This is not just a story. This is a summons. Michael's declaration means that heaven is not far. It's right above your roof, hovering, waiting for your spirit to respond. The light you've been praying for, the breakthrough you've been aching for, it's already here, waiting for your recognition. But here's what most people miss. When heaven opens, it does not pour out blessings to the curious. It pours them upon the committed. The ones who stay, who listen, who watch, who refuse to turn away before the revelation is complete. Because what's coming next isn't just a message, it's a manifestation. And Michael's alarm is not meant to scare, it's meant to prepare. Something is about to be revealed that can change your understanding of what divine timing truly means. The question is, will you be awake when it happens? Hold on to that thought because the next few moments are where heaven begins to move closer to you. The kind of closeness that transforms everything. Before you blink, something inside you will shift. You'll sense it, a holy awareness that what you're hearing isn't random. It's prophetic. This is your moment to listen deeply, because heaven's gates don't stay open forever. And when they close, only those who remained until the end will carry what was poured out. So, stay with me now because what's about to unfold next will not just stir your heart, it will mark your destiny. Beloved one, as the divine alarm still trembles through the atmosphere, the vision opens wider. Archangel Michael stands upon a golden platform suspended between time and eternity. His armor gleams like molten fire, and in his hand, the sword of light hums with a sound that is not of this world. Around him, thousands of angelic hosts gather, their faces hidden behind radiant wings, waiting for his next command. The scroll in his left hand bears a seal that no human hand could ever break, until tonight. You must understand, the sword of light is not a weapon of destruction, but of revelation. Every time Michael lifts it, darkness loses its hiding place. The secrets that have long been buried, truths about your purpose, your calling, your divine protection, begin to surface. When he unsheathes that sword, every lie that whispered you're not enough starts to dissolve in its glow. Heaven is about to show you that what you thought was a delay was actually divine preparation. As Michael lifts the scroll, the heavens grow silent. The stars seem to pause in their orbit. And then, with a single breath that sounds like thunder wrapped in mercy, he declares, "The watchers have been chosen." My child, that word watchers means more than mere observers. It means those who refuse to give up, those who look beyond what their eyes can see, those who guard the flame of faith when the night grows cold. You are one of them. That's why you are hearing this message right now. The scroll unfolds in slow motion, its letters shining like living fire. Each symbol pulses with divine energy, and as Michael reads, the atmosphere changes. He speaks not in a human tongue, but in the language of creation itself. Every syllable carries the echo of God's voice, the same voice that said, "Let there be light." And as he speaks, that same light begins to fall upon the earth like rain. The message written on the scroll is both beautiful and terrifying. Those who remain awake shall inherit what others have slept through. That line alone shakes the heavens. It means there is a spiritual inheritance being distributed, but only to those who are still watching when the final word is spoken. Those who grow weary, those who let distraction pull them away, will not see the full glory of what God has prepared. But there's more. The scroll reveals a timeline, a divine countdown. The open gates of heaven are not a metaphor. They are a real opening between realms. And just like in ancient times when the angel passed over the houses marked with faith, tonight heaven looks for those who are marked by obedience. Michael's sword gleams brighter because he knows many will hear, but few will truly listen. The question he asks through this message is simple yet eternal. Will you be among the watchers? The sound of his wings fills the air like the rushing of mighty waters. Around him, the angels begin to chant a phrase that feels alive. The gates are open. The harvest is ready. This is not about crops or gold. It's about souls, destinies, and divine moments that come once in a lifetime. Those gates will not remain open forever. Every second counts in the unseen realm. And right now, you are standing before the edge of something infinite. This is why you were told to watch until the end. The story isn't about an angel in the sky. It's about the gate standing open for you. The gate that leads into peace, clarity, and divine covering. But there's a cost. You must not turn away. If you keep watching, the next moment will reveal what lies beyond those gates. Michael's next words carry the weight of eternity, and his message holds the secret that even the stars have waited to hear. So take a deep breath and listen with your spirit, not your ears. Because what happens next isn't just revelation. It's visitation. Trust me, what's about to be revealed will shift everything you thought you knew about heaven's timing and your purpose in it. Hold steady now, because you're about to see what Michael does with that sword of light, and it will leave you trembling with holy awe. My precious one, as the sword glows brighter in Michael's grasp, a sound ripples through the unseen world, a vibration that feels like the heartbeat of heaven itself. The light from the sword touches the earth, and everywhere it falls, souls begin to awaken. Some feel it as a stirring in their dreams, others as a sudden rush of clarity in their thoughts. The alarm that was sounded is no longer just echoing above. It has entered the chambers of human hearts. Michael's mission tonight is not only to deliver a message, but to awaken those chosen to carry divine fire into a weary world. The Watchers are rising. Across nations, people who were tired, broken, and numb suddenly sense a new energy burning within. They are not saints in shining robes. They are ordinary souls who dared to keep believing even when everything looked lost. The heavenly scroll that Michael read has activated something ancient within them. A code written by the Creator before time began. And in that code lies a promise. When darkness deepens, the Watchers will rise with light in their eyes and truth in their voice. That is happening now, and you are part of it. In the spiritual realm, the gates of heaven gleam like rivers of fire flowing upward. Angels move in ordered ranks, each carrying bowls of light. Every bowl holds a measure of divine answer prepared for those who stayed alert. Michael stands before these gates, his voice carrying authority that pierces dimensions. The appointed hour has come, he proclaims, and his words ignite the horizon. What you are feeling right now, this quickening in your spirit, is heaven responding to that decree. The alarm is not a warning of disaster, but a call to destiny. Understand this. The Watchers are not chosen by perfection, but by perseverance. They are those who still lift their eyes when others bow to despair. They are the ones who do not let time silence faith. And the more they listen, the louder heaven speaks. You were never meant to wander aimlessly. Every delay, every tear, every silent prayer has been preparing you for this moment of awakening. Michael's alarm was not sent to everyone. It was sent to you. Because you were born for such a time as this. A time when light and darkness collide, and faith becomes the bridge between them. In this sacred moment, the air thickens with divine energy. The Watchers begin to glow from within, their spirits igniting like lanterns in a storm. They are receiving instructions from the Holy Spirit, assignments that will change families, nations, and generations. And as they rise, a voice from the throne declares, "Those who endure to the end shall see the gates close behind them with blessing in their hands." The meaning is clear. Those who remain faithful, who keep watching till the last word, will not leave empty-handed. They will carry divine provision that others can only dream of. But Michael knows that distractions are coming, voices that will try to pull you away before the revelation is complete. That is why this alarm is so urgent. It is heaven's way of saying, do not look away now. Because what comes next is the unveiling of the true purpose of the open gates. The Watchers are about to witness something that has not been seen since the dawn of creation, a moment when heaven and earth touch in pure harmony. Hold steady, my dear one. The atmosphere around you is shifting. The same angelic power that parted seas and silenced lions is hovering over your space. You might not see it with your eyes, but your spirit feels it. The call tonight is clear. Stay awake, stay aware, stay open. The next revelation will reveal what lies beyond those gates, and why heaven chose this exact hour to open them. Before you move, take this moment and breathe in the holy weight of what is happening. Because the next step is not just about watching, it's about stepping into what has been prepared for you since the foundation of the world. Wait for what's next, because it will unveil the mystery that even angels long to understand. My beloved family in faith, if this message has stirred your spirit, know this. You are part of the divine mission unfolding right now. Every moment you help carry this word further, a soul somewhere awakens. When you sow into this message, whether through super thanks, channel membership, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, You are not supporting a voice. You are fueling the movement of heaven slide across the earth. The word says, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and that promise is alive for you today. I speak blessing over every seed you plant. May it return to you as divine favor, answered prayers, and supernatural peace. This is not just giving. It is partnering with Archangel Michael's call to awaken the watchers. Step into this act of faith now, and watch how heaven responds. The gates are open. Move while the light still shines. Dearest child of light, as the watchers rise, the earth below them begins to tremble, not with fear, but with anticipation. The sound that filled the heavens now pulses through creation itself. It's as if the trees, the oceans, and even the winds have joined the song of awakening. Michael's sword gleams brighter than before, its light expanding like a dawn that refuses to stop rising. The open gates ahead shimmer with layers of color no artist could ever paint. They are alive, breathing, moving, and calling those who are ready to cross through. Every watcher stands at the threshold now, hearts pounding, eyes fixed on what lies beyond. Yet none of them can step forward until Michael gives the command. His gaze moves across the multitude, and when it rests on you, something inside your soul ignites. You realize this gate is not made of gold or stone. It's made of moments. Moments of surrender, moments of faith, moments when you chose to keep believing. The gate is the story of your endurance, woven together with divine mercy. And tonight, that story is the key that will let you pass through. Then, with a voice that rolls like thunder dipped in love, Michael speaks. Those who have watched, now walk. Instantly, the watchers begin to move. Some step boldly, others tremble as they go, but each one carries the light that has been kindled within them. As they cross, the very air around them bends. Old burdens fall like broken chains. Regret dissolves. Fear vanishes. The watchers don't just walk through a gate, they walk into alignment with heaven's rhythm. The scene beyond the gate is indescribable. Rivers of living fire flow into gardens of light. Every color radiates a sound, and every sound carries revelation. The watchers realize they are no longer on earth as it is known. They are walking in the realm of answered prayer. This is what heaven looks like when faith becomes visible. Here, every tear has a voice, and every pain finds its purpose. Michael leads the way, his wings stretching wide as a banner of victory over those who dared to believe. But even in this beauty, there's a mystery. Far ahead, Michael stops beside a great crystal bridge that arches over what seems like infinity itself. Beneath the bridge swirls a sea of memory, every unspoken prayer, every hidden battle, every moment you thought heaven was silent. He turns and says, "Before you can carry heaven's portion, you must walk across what you've overcome." And so, one by one, the watchers step onto the bridge. Each step sends ripples through the sea below, turning old wounds into light. What was once pain becomes proof of divine faithfulness. As you walk, the voice of God whispers, not from the clouds, but from within you. I was there in every shadow, every silence, every waiting moment. You did not watch in vain. The realization breaks through your heart like sunlight through glass. Everything you endured was preparation. Every unanswered question was a seed waiting for tonight's revelation. On the far side of the bridge, the watchers are met by a radiant wind that feels alive. It flows from the throne of God itself. The moment it touches them, they are changed. The glow on their faces intensifies. Their voices gain authority. What they carry now is no longer just faith. It's manifestation. They have crossed through the gate, and in doing so, they've brought heaven's frequency back with them. But there is still one mystery left unopened, the final purpose of Michael's sword of light. For though the Watchers have crossed, the sword still hums, glowing brighter, as if preparing for its ultimate revelation. The crossing was not the end. It was the beginning of something greater. Something that heaven has waited millennia to release. Hold on, dear heart, because what comes next is the unveiling of that mystery. The sword will soon reveal what it was truly forged for, and when it does, every Watcher will understand why they were called tonight. Before you move away, let this moment settle inside you. You are standing between worlds, and what happens next will shake both heaven and earth. Stay with this story, because the next revelation will not just be seen, it will be felt. It's the point where heaven's fire touches mortal purpose. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens when Michael finally lifts that sword for the last time. Beloved spirit, the air on the far side of the gate feels different, denser, alive, heavy with purpose. The Watchers stand in silence, still trembling from the power of what they've just crossed. The bridge fades behind them, but its memory lingers like the afterglow of a divine encounter. Michael stands at the center of this holy expanse, his wings unfolding wider than the horizon. The sword of light is still in his hand, burning with such intensity that even the radiant beings around him bow their heads. The sword is no longer just a symbol. It is the living expression of divine judgment and mercy woven together. Then, a stillness falls so deep that it feels as though time itself holds its breath. Michael raises the sword high, and the entire realm is illuminated. Every Watcher sees not just light, but truth. The sword reveals the hidden motives of hearts, the buried fears, the secret longings, the forgotten vows. It doesn't expose them to shame. It exposes them to healing. Wherever the light touches, old wounds begin to close. The Watchers start to weep, not from sorrow, but from recognition. They realize that the same sword that divided the heavens from the earth now divides darkness from their souls. A sound like the ringing of 1,000 bells fills the air. The sword hums, resonating with each Watcher's spirit. Michael's eyes blaze like twin suns as he speaks. The shadow cannot stand where truth is revealed. With one motion, he thrusts the sword downward into the ground. The entire realm vibrates. A pulse of light ripples outward, passing through every Watcher, every star, every molecule of creation. Wherever that pulse travels, the residue of fear and doubt is burned away. You feel it too. The invisible weight that's been pressing on your heart suddenly begins to lift. It's as if every unanswered prayer is now seen, every hidden tear recorded. The sword's power reaches even beyond this vision. It stretches into the fabric of your own reality. Chains of limitation, spiritual and emotional, start to break. What was once impossible begins to stir with possibility. Michael's sword was not only meant to separate, it was meant to set free. In that light, you begin to see yourself differently. No longer as someone waiting for favor, but as someone chosen to carry it. You realize that heaven has been shaping your story for this very moment. The trials you endured weren't punishments, they were training. You were never abandoned. You were being refined for divine use. The Watchers around you begin to shine brighter, each becoming like a pillar of light that reaches from heaven to earth. This is what the awakening was leading to, an army of radiant souls ready to release truth into a darkened world. Michael turns to them again. The sword will rest when the light has filled the earth, he declares. His voice rolls like living thunder. Each of you now carries a spark from this blade. Wherever you walk, darkness will yield. Whatever you speak in faith will align with heaven's decree. But guard the flame within you, for many will try to extinguish it before its work is done. The watchers bow their heads, their spirits charged with holy fire. They know this is not the end of their awakening, it's their commissioning. Suddenly, the realm begins to shift. The light grows even more intense, and the ground beneath their feet becomes transparent, revealing the earth below. They can see nations, cities, families, people wandering in confusion, unaware that heaven's gates stand open above them. Michael extends his hand, and in that instant, a line of light shoots downward, connecting the watchers to those on earth. It's a bridge of revelation, linking those who have seen with those who are still searching. The voice of God echoes again, deeper, more personal this time. What you carry is not for you alone. Speak it. Release it. For every word you utter in faith will open gates for another soul. That command vibrates through your being. You realize this calling is not about seeing visions. It's about living them. You were never meant to merely witness the light. You were meant to become it. Michael lowers the sword, his glow now soft but steady, and for the first time, he smiles. The alarm was never to wake heaven, he says gently. It was to wake you. Those words sink deep into your heart like sacred fire. Everything suddenly makes sense. The call, the waiting, the gates, the bridge, the sword. Heaven's entire orchestration tonight has been for one purpose, to awaken divine carriers on earth who will not let the fire die out. But the moment is not over. Something is still hidden within the sword, something that even Michael has yet to reveal. The watchers can feel it, an energy building, a mystery waiting to be unveiled. The divine story is moving toward its greatest revelation, and heaven leans closer to witness it. Before you look away, stay right here in this stillness. Let the light that flows from this part of the story rest inside you. Because what comes next will show why the sword was forged, why the alarm was sounded, and what heaven truly intends for those who have stayed awake. Beloved seeker, the realm trembled again, not with fear, but with expectancy. The watchers stand in absolute stillness as the sword of light begins to change form. Its glow deepens, no longer a sharp blaze of white, but a living fire that breathes like the heart of a sun. Michael holds it before him, and the flames swirl in patterns that seem to write messages across the sky. Each pulse of fire carries words that no earthly language could contain. The watchers know this is the moment, the unveiling of what was hidden even from angels for generations. Michael raises his voice, and the sound is both thunder and music at once. This fire, he declares, is the breath of the Most High. It burns not to destroy, but to awaken the eternal spark within all who were made in his image. The watchers bow as the fire rises higher, its light cascading over them like waves. Every soul in that assembly feels something ancient reawakening inside, the remembrance of divine origin. For the first time, they begin to see themselves as heaven always saw them, carriers of glory, not survivors of circumstance. The sword begins to expand, its light reaching across galaxies, connecting every corner of creation. In that glow, visions appear. The watchers see humanity, cities filled with noise, faces turned downward, hearts tired from searching for meaning. They see the weight of fear pressing upon generations. Yet, woven through all that shadow, they see sparks, tiny lights flickering in the darkness. And Michael speaks again, the same fire that lives in this sword now burns in them. It waits only for their awakening. This revelation is overwhelming. Heaven is showing that divine fire was never meant to remain in one place. It was meant to spread through the faithful, one heart at a time. You, too, are part of that vision. You were never meant to only hear about the light. You were meant to ignite it. Every prayer, every act of kindness, every moment you chose love over bitterness has kept that fire alive. Michael's sword is the mirror of your spirit. Its flame burns because yours still does. As the watchers gaze into the fire, it begins to separate into streams, rivers of light flowing outward toward the earth. Each river carries an assignment: healing, deliverance, wisdom, peace. Michael stretches out his hand, and the fire flows through his fingers like liquid gold. The streams pass through the gates of heaven, descending toward the world below. You can almost feel the warmth of it reaching you now. It's not imagination. It's alignment. The fire is seeking vessels, souls ready to release what heaven has poured in. Then, the vision intensifies. Michael points the sword toward the earth, and his voice resounds through every realm. Let the watchers speak. Instantly, the watchers open their mouths, and from them pour words of light. Not ordinary speech, but declarations of truth that pierce the veil between heaven and earth. They speak over nations, over broken families, over weary hearts. And as they speak, the rivers of light respond, finding those words and planting them in the soil of human destiny. Every prophecy becomes a seed of transformation. The watchers begin to understand that this is not about them being spectators. It's about them being participants in divine creation. The sword was never just a symbol of power. It was a transfer of authority. Heaven's strategy has always been partnership. God could have spoken directly, but he chooses vessels, hearts, and voices that are willing to echo his heartbeat. That is what you are being called into. The same divine energy that flows from Michael's sword is being released into your spirit as you listen. Michael looks upward, his eyes reflecting the infinite, and speaks once more. The fire that burns within the sword will soon rest within those who hear and believe. It will not consume them. It will crown them. As he speaks, the sword begins to dissolve into light, spreading into the air until it no longer looks like a weapon, but a dawn rising. The watchers stretch out their hands, and the light settles upon them like soft rain. Their forms begin to glow from within, each one becoming a reflection of the sword's original brilliance. In that moment, heaven itself rejoices. Trumpets sound in unseen dimensions, and the very air sings with harmony. The watchers have not only witnessed the fire, they have become bearers of it. The sword has done its work. It has divided the shadows, revealed the truth, and awakened the flame that will never again be extinguished. And yet, as Michael lowers his gaze back to the earth, his expression is solemn. He knows that the fire will be tested. For every flame that burns bright, darkness will try to draw near. That is why he speaks one last time before the vision shifts. Guard the fire. Speak life. Walk in truth. For the next revelation will show you what happens when heaven's fire meets the resistance of the world. The watchers bow as the light begins to fade into their beings. And though the realm around them glows with peace, a quiet anticipation hums in the air. Something powerful is approaching, something that will prove whether the fire within can truly overcome the darkness without. Stay near now, because what comes next will take you into the deepest mystery yet, the moment when heaven's flame collides with earth's storm. My radiant one, as the fire within the watcher settles, the realm grows silent again. It is not the stillness of peace this time, but the calm before something immense. Far below, on the face of the earth, dark clouds begin to gather. From the heavenly height, the watchers can see it, a storm foaming over humanity. It is not made of rain or lightning, but of confusion, fear, and noise. The same world that heaven has chosen to bless now trembles under the weight of its own blindness. The light of heaven has descended, yet many hearts do not perceive it. The storm is resistance itself, the final attempt of darkness to hold ground before the dawn completely breaks. Michael stands at the edge of the gate, his wings unfolding like shields of flame. The watchers draw near him, their new light glowing against the horizon of shadow below. He raises his hand, and a hush spreads across eternity. "Do not fear the storm," he says. "It does not come to destroy you, but to reveal the strength of the fire within you. For what is tested and remains, that is what shines forever." The watchers listen, their hearts steady but their spirits trembling with anticipation. They know that what's about to unfold will not only prove heaven's glory, it will prove their faith. The first waves of the storm crash upward, reaching the edges of the spiritual realm. The sky darkens, not in color, but in vibration. It hums with chaos, with the cries of those who have forgotten hope. Yet, as the storm rages, the watchers notice something miraculous. Their light does not waver. The fire within them, the same fire that came from the sword, begins to respond. It pulses brighter, stronger, as if feeding on the resistance. Michael's voice rises again, firm and unshaken. Light grows best against darkness. Do not retreat. Advance. And so, the watchers begin to descend. One by one, they step from the heavenly gate, moving toward the world below. They do not fall like meteors. They move like living flames, their descent slow, majestic, purposeful. Each carries within them a fragment of that celestial fire, and as they enter the storm, the atmosphere begins to change. The dark clouds crack open where they pass, creating streaks of brilliance that ripple across the sky. It is not the end of the storm, but its transformation. For where the watchers go, heaven follows. As you stand within this unfolding vision, you can almost feel the thunder rolling through your own chest. The storm is not just around the earth, it's around your life, your faith, your purpose. Every time doubt rises, every time the noise of the world tries to drown your spirit, that's the same storm. But heaven's message is clear. The fire within you is stronger than the shadows around you. The alarm was sounded not to warn you of destruction, or to awaken your authority. You are not a spectator in this story. You are part of the fire being sent into the storm. Michael hovers above the whirl, his sword no longer visible, because his fire now burns in countless hearts. His eyes scan the earth, watching as the watchers ignite pockets of hope wherever they go. Some appear as sudden peace in hospitals, others as boldness in those who once feared to speak truth. Some move through cities, releasing courage into leaders who had lost direction. Each act of faith, each spark of love, becomes a strike of lightning against the storm. The darkness screams, but begins to unravel. And then, something astonishing happens. The storm begins to reveal its true nature. What seemed like chaos was actually a veil, a layer hiding multitudes who were searching for light. As the fire pierces through, people begin to awaken. Hearts long asleep start to feel again. Tears fall not from fear, but from recognition. The watchers realized that the storm's purpose was never to extinguish them. It was to awaken the dormant lights hidden within the world. Heaven's fire was never meant to shine around the storm, but through it. Michael speaks again, his voice resonating through the earth. When fire meets wind, the blaze spreads faster. So let the resistance only fan your flame. His words carry across generations, through every watcher, into every soul that hears them. This is how revival begins. Not through comfort, but through collision. The watchers move with renewed strength, knowing that every challenge, every opposition, is just another wind sent to spread their light further. The storm begins to lose form. It does not vanish, it transforms. What was once dark now glimmers with faint illumination, like clouds kissed by dawn. Heaven's fire does not destroy, it redeems. It takes what was chaotic and reshapes it into clarity. The watchers, now covered in streaks of gold and flame, lift their gaze upward. Michael nods, and they understand. The mission is working. The fire has found its way into the heart of creation. And as the first calm breaks over the earth, a new sound rises, not thunder, but singing. It's faint at first, then stronger. Voices of those who have been touched by the light join together, unknowingly echoing the same melody the watchers heard in heaven. For the first time, heaven and earth sing the same song. Stay with this moment. The storm was not your end. It was your awakening. What comes next will reveal the reward of the watchers, a secret that heaven releases only when the fire has proven itself faithful in the storm. What waits beyond this calm is not rest, but revelation. Beloved vessel of light, as the final echoes of the storm fade into the horizon, a sound unlike any other begins to rise. It is not loud, yet it fills everything. It has no single source, yet it comes from everywhere. The song that now ascends is the sound of reconciliation, of heaven and earth breathing in unison again. The watchers lift their faces, eyes glistening with divine reflection. Each one knows they are not merely hearing this melody, they are part of it. Every note carries the vibration of obedience, every harmony a memory of faith. The gates that once stood above now shine brighter than ever, because heaven opens widest when creation sings back to its creator. The light of the watchers joins the song, expanding it. The melody sweeps through the skies, into valleys, through cities and deserts alike. Wherever it touches, hearts begin to stir. The song reaches those who had lost faith, those who sat in silence for years, and suddenly they feel a rhythm awakening inside them, a rhythm that matches the beat of heaven's heart. This is not just sound, it is revival in its purest form. The watchers realize that the storm was not their battle, it was their tuning. It refined them, adjusted them to heaven's key, so they could sing this new creation into existence. Michael stands at the center of it all, wings spread wide as rivers of light flow between them. His armor, once blazing with wall-like brilliance, now gleams with peace. This, he declares, is the sound of answered prayer. The watchers bow their heads as he continues. For generations, heaven has listened for this one thing, the sound of harmony between faith and obedience, between heaven's call and earth's response. Tonight, that harmony has been found. His words ripple outward like wind made of gold, and every watcher feels the truth burn within their spirit. Heaven does not open with noise, but with alignment. You can feel that same rhythm now, can't you? The melody that is not heard with ears, but with the heart. It's in every breath you take, every whisper of hope you've ever dared to speak. Heaven's song is not somewhere far away, it's inside you. When you choose faith over fear, love over judgment, forgiveness over bitterness, you become part of that divine harmony. The watchers are not only celestial beings, they are reflections of what God intended humanity to be, walking songs of light. The vision expands again. Michael gestures toward the gates, and suddenly they open wider, revealing something even more wondrous. A flood of colors, sounds, and life. From the depths of heaven pours a river of glory, streaming toward the earth like liquid dawn. It flows through the watchers, through the nations, through every willing heart. This is not judgment, it's restoration. Every drop of that river carries what the earth has lacked: divine order, holy creativity, the courage to hope again. The watchers lift their voices, joining their song with the river's flow. Each note carries intention, each sound releases healing. And now, something incredible happens. The song becomes language. It starts to form words that everyone understands, regardless of tongue or tribe. The gates are open. Come home. That phrase moves like wind across the world. People in darkness lift their heads without knowing why. Those in despair feel tears of release. This is the moment heaven's purpose becomes visible, salvation unfolding not through fear, but through beauty. The Watcher's mission is complete only when the song awakens others to their own fire. The alarm that began with Michael's trumpet has become a melody of invitation. The song grows louder. Heaven itself begins to respond. Stars pulse to the rhythm, oceans shimmer like crystal, and even the mountains hum with resonance. Creation itself remembers its original tune. The Watchers realize that this is what the entire night was leading to. Not battle, not revelation, but reunion. The moment when all that was separated by sin, fear, and doubt becomes one sound of worship again. Michael lowers his head and says softly, "The fire was for this. The storm was for this. The awakening was for this." Heaven does not seek noise. It seeks truth. His voice trembles with reverence, and even the angels surrounding him are silent. The gates blaze brighter, not with force, but with invitation. Heaven is no longer just watching, it's welcoming. And in this perfect stillness, a gentle voice, higher than Michael's, deeper than thunder, whispers through the air. It is the voice of God. The alarm has fulfilled its purpose. Those who watched until the end have received their portion. With those words, the light intensifies. The watchers fall to their knees, not from fear, but from overwhelming awe. They realize they are not only witnesses, they are participants in a moment that reshapes eternity. Do not move from this sacred silence, because what follows next will reveal what heaven places in the hands of those who have endured the watching, the waiting, and the fire. The reward of the watchers is about to be unveiled. It is not what they expected, it is greater. Beloved listener of light, if this message has stirred your heart, understand that what we are doing here is more than storytelling. It is soul awakening. Every word that goes forth from this mission is a spark of divine truth, traveling into hearts that hunger for hope. When you choose to support this work through super thanks, channel membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a man, you are giving to a movement of heaven. Scripture declares, "He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed," and tonight, that promise breathes over you. Every seed you sow becomes light sent into another life. I speak blessing over your offering, that it multiplies as favor, peace, and protection over your home. Heaven is open. Partner with the fire while it burns bright. Your support keeps this divine alarm sounding until every heart hears the call. My chosen one, as the final notes of the divine song fade into a holy stillness, a radiance begins to descend from the open heavens. A light is unlike any that has appeared before, so pure, so steady, that even the air around it seems to bow. The watchers, still on their knees, lift their eyes to see a form taking shape within the brilliance. It is not Michael this time. It is a presence greater, older than time, clothed in light that holds every color of creation. The watchers can barely stand in the weight of that glory, for they know what is unfolding before them is the fulfillment of every prophecy ever whispered. The voice that spoke the world into existence has come to speak again, not to galaxies or stars, but to them. My watchers, the voice says, gentle yet boundless, you have waited. You have endured the fire, the storm, and the silence. You have not turned away, and for that, the gates will not close to you. The watchers tremble, their hearts overwhelmed. The words do not sound like speech, they sound like truth becoming flesh. Every syllable carries power, every phrase a blessing. The portion you receive, the voice continues, is not gold or crown or city. It is something eternal, my presence within you. At that moment, a stream of light flows from the heavens, passing through Michael and into each watcher. It does not rest upon them like before, it enters them. The fire that once surrounded now becomes one with their very essence. They glow not from the outside in, but from within outward. It is the completion of everything the sword of light began. Heaven's alarm was not to summon attention, it was to prepare vessels. And now those vessels are full. Michael watches in reverent silence as the transformation unfolds. He knows that what is being poured out now cannot be taken back. Heaven has chosen to dwell within its creation, not merely hover above it. The watchers rise slowly, and as they do, their eyes no longer shine with borrowed light. They shine with origin light, the light that once said, "Let there be." This is their portion, divine indwelling. The glory that filled the temple now fills human hearts. The presence speaks again, softer this time. You were not chosen because you were strong. You were chosen because you kept believing. Every moment you stood in faith when nothing made sense, every tear that fell in the waiting, it all became oil for this moment. You are the living lamps of the age to come. The watchers lift their hands as streams of golden oil flow down their arms, glistening like liquid sunlight. It is not ordinary oil. It carries fragrance, memory, and power. It is the mark of the divine watchers, an eternal reminder that obedience opens gates that effort never could. You, too, are part of this unfolding. The same presence that fills the watchers now hovers close to your life. That stirring you feel, that quiet warmth in your spirit, it is the same oil. Heaven's portion is not far away. It is seeking hearts that remain open, faithful, and willing to keep watching when the world turns away. You were not just meant to hear the story, you were meant to live its truth. Michael finally speaks, his tone filled with awe. The watchers are no longer few. The fire has spread. Heaven's alarm has done its work. He looks over the horizon of the world below, and his eyes shine with compassion. Every heart that heard the call and stayed will carry the presence wherever they go. The kingdom has not come to a place. It has come to a people. His sword, now dim and still, dissolves completely into light, merging with the watchers themselves. The symbol of heaven's might has now become their inner reality. The realm itself begins to shift again, but this time it is not trembling in fear. It is expanding. The heavens stretch wider, revealing layers upon layers of glory. The watchers can now see what was once hidden, pathways of light that connect all living things, threads of divine energy weaving the tapestry of creation. They realized they were never separated from heaven, they were simply asleep to it. The alarm, the fire, the storm, all with the Creator's way of awakening them to what had always been true. The voice of God resounds once more, filling every realm. Go forth and let the light multiply. Speak what you have seen. Release what you have carried. And wherever you go, I will go with you. The watchers bowed deeply, understanding that their mission has just begun. What was a night of revelation has now become the dawn of their purpose. They are to walk among the living, unseen but active, awakening others to the same presence. And so, heaven begins to close, not in retreat, but in rest. The gates shimmer softly, remaining open just wide enough for the light to flow freely between realms. Michael turns toward you, his gaze steady, filled with knowing. What began as an alarm, he says, has become an awakening. The question now is, will you carry the light you've been given? Hold that question close, for it will echo through the next revelation. The story is not finished. The Watchers have received their portion, but the earth has yet to see what happens when that portion begins to move among men. The next moment will reveal how heaven's indwelling presence changes everything it touches. Stay with it, for the unfolding glory is only beginning. My beloved listener, the vision does not end at the gate. Heaven's plan is never complete until its glory takes root in the hearts of those who have heard. The Watchers, glowing with the essence of divine fire, now move freely between the unseen and the visible world. They are no longer bound to celestial borders. They have become part of the rhythm of creation itself. Every heartbeat, every breath, every whisper of prayer is now a pulse of that heavenly light moving through time. The air hums with the living presence of God, and all creation feels it, like the earth itself has begun to breathe again after centuries of holding its breath. Michael walks among them, his wings shimmering with faint gold, his sword no longer sharp and gleaming, but transformed into radiant wind. This is the season of merging, he declares. Heaven and earth are no longer apart. Those who believe, those who keep the flame, are now carriers of the presence. The Watchers nod in solemn understanding. What began as a celestial mission has become a human calling. Heaven's fire now seeks to express itself not in visions of grandeur, but in lives of quiet power. People who forgive easily, love deeply, and carry peace into chaos. The world below begins to shift. In homes, in streets, in forgotten corners of despair, small lights begin to appear. Some as sudden clarity in a confused mind, others as warmth in a grieving heart. These are the living echoes of the Watcher's fire. Where bitterness once ruled, mercy takes its place. Where hopelessness lingered, purpose blossoms. Michael watches these lights spreading, multiplying faster than any darkness can contain. The kingdom, he whispers, has begun. Then something miraculous happens. The Watchers look at one another and realize their forms are changing again. Their brilliance softens, their radiance folding inward until they look indistinguishable from the people among whom they walk. Heaven has decided to dwell not as distant messengers, but as living presence through humanity itself. Every man and woman who says yes to the light becomes a Watcher in disguise. Heaven's army is no longer visible. It is incarnate. The line between the celestial and the mortal has vanished. Michael turns his gaze to you. Though the vision around him glows with divine majesty, his eyes hold the tenderness of a teacher speaking to a student who is ready. You have heard much, seen much, and felt much, he says softly. Now it must live through you. The light you have received is not for observation, it is for transformation. Heaven's flame within you is the continuation of this story. His voice lowers, but its resonance fills your chest. Every choice you make, every word you speak, every time you love when it would be easier to hate, you open the gate again. You let heaven walk the earth once more. The Watchers begin to hum a melody, not the song that opened heaven, but a quieter one, the song of continuation. It sounds like wind through trees, like the ocean's sigh, like a heartbeat remembering its rhythm. Each note carries the same message. The gates are still open. The story is still being written. The fire moves through you as you listen, subtle yet unmistakable. You realize this story was never about angels alone. It was always about you, about every soul brave enough to watch until the end. Michael's wings fold around him as he prepares to ascend. The alarm has done its work, he says. Those who remain will carry what they have seen. His form begins to rise, a light intensifying around him until he is more brilliance than being. Guard the flame, his voice echoes. Do not wait for signs in the sky. The greatest sign will always burn within you. The watchers bow as he ascends through the open gate, leaving trails of radiance that linger like morning mist. And in that moment, you understand, the presence of heaven is not above, but within. The story does not end with the closing of the vision, but with the awakening of your spirit. The divine alarm has not stopped ringing. It has simply changed its tone, becoming the heartbeat of every awakened soul. You feel it now, quiet but steady, heaven breathing through you, calling you to live as light in a world that still searches for dawn. Stay with this feeling, beloved one, because the next revelation is the culmination, the moment where Michael's call finds its eternal echo in you. The fire will not fade. It will find purpose. What began in heaven will end in your hands. My beloved keeper of the light, this is the moment heaven has been moving towards since the first alarm was sounded. The fire that once blazed in the sword of Michael, that passed through the watchers, that descended through the open gates, now burns in you. The divine story is complete, not because it has ended, but because it has found a home. Heaven's fire no longer needs to fall. It now flows through every heart that believes. The same voice that thundered across creation now whispers in your soul, saying, "You are my dwelling place." Michael stands once more at the edge of the unseen realm, the gates of heaven glowing softly behind him. His face is calm, his armor reflecting the gold of eternal morning. The watchers stand beside him, their light now gentle, no longer consuming but abiding. The world below gleams faintly, covered with rivers of light spreading across mountains, cities, and seas. It is the evidence of obedience, living proof that heaven's word has not returned void. Every tear shed, every prayer whispered, every act of love offered in faith has become part of this radiant tapestry. The alarm has done its work, Michael says quietly. His wings unfold, not in warning, but in blessing. The watchers have risen. The fire has multiplied. The gates will never again be closed to those who carry the flame. His gaze turns toward the earth, toward you, and there is a softness in his voice that feels like eternity wrapped in kindness. You have watched until the end. Now, you are the continuation. The portion you were promised is already within you, the light of the living God, burning with purpose, unstoppable, unending. The heavens begin to brighten, not with new light, but with reflection. Creation mirrors back the glory it has received. Every tree, every ocean wave, every breath of wind carries a faint shimmer of divinity. Heaven and earth are now interwoven, and the distance between them has dissolved. Michael looks upward and whispers words no mortal ear can fully understand, yet you feel their meaning, gratitude. His mission is complete, and his final act is to pass the fire fully into human hands. Then, for the last time, the divine voice fills all realms. It is not distant or thunderous. It is intimate, like the sound of your own heartbeat amplified by eternity. My children, the voice says, the gates are open within you. Walk in light. Release what you have received. Let the world see me through your love. The sound fades, leaving behind silence so alive it almost sings. The vision begins to close, not in darkness, but in fulfillment. You realize heaven is not departing, it is dwelling. It lives in the rhythm of your daily breath, in the words you choose to speak, in the compassion you choose to show. Michael lowers his wings and looks upon creation one last time. The flame has found its bearers, he says. Guard it well. For though the alarm ends tonight, the awakening continues forever. His form dissolves into light, merging with the dawn that begins to rise across the horizon of the world. The watchers follow, not vanishing, but becoming the unseen presence of peace that walks beside those who choose the path of faith. The alarm fades, the gates glimmer faintly, and then all is still, except for the light within you, burning quietly, steadily, eternally. And now, my beloved, the story rests in your hands. You have heard the call. You have watched until the end. You have received your portion. What you do next will determine how far the fire spreads. Will you keep it alive? Will you let heaven walk through you, speak through you, shine through you? The gates remain open in every act of love, every moment of courage, every whisper of faith. This is your invitation to live as one who has seen the open heavens and carries them wherever you go. Beloved carrier of the flame, before you leave this sacred moment, listen closely. What you have heard tonight is not just revelation, it is a call to continue heaven's work. Every word spoken here is a spark, and each act of support you give helps that spark reach another soul waiting for light. When you bless this mission through super thanks, channel membership, or by giving through the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding content. You are fueling the fire of awakening. The word declares, the one who sows generously will also reap generously, and that promise is alive in this very hour. I speak divine increase over your giving, that it will return as strength, peace, and supernatural provision. Let your offering become a prophetic act, a declaration that you stand with heaven's purpose. The gates are open. Let your light join the multitude. Give, share, and carry this message so the alarm can sound through every heart that still sleeps. Heaven is moving. Be part of its movement.